Hello. Hello, my friend Deborah. I'm Carrie, and this is Deborah, and we're just going to have a talk today. We were talking online about connections and how we felt really fulfilled with each other's uh, friendship and ways that we've cultivated a deeper friendship with her being in Wisconsin, right? I
Yep.
got that right. Okay. And me being in North Carolina. I met Deborah over a year ago through a course that we were taking, and it took us a little time to connect. But when we did, we found that we had a lot in common, but also a lot of differences in our personal life. But that on a deeper level, when we started asking deeper questions and getting to know each other, we found a really beautiful connection that seemed to really nourish our spirit. And we've talked pretty much every week since then, I think, Deborah, haven't we?
We have. It's been so much fun. And, I just want to add to that especially through COVID, so many people were alone and missing that connection. And, just by expanding where you are able to meet people and to connect with them has really changed my world a little bit before COVID and during COVID, but just the idea of expanding your network and the craziness that online network people you meet online, seem to be very similar to you. It's been like this crazy thing of this online attraction that you start talking to people who think very similar, even though our backgrounds are really different and where we live are really different. So it's been so much fun.
Yeah, and our tribe has expanded worldwide. Like I have friends all over the world I connect with thinking, wow, I feel a real soul connection to you, a real deeper connection. Like when I say deeper connection, I mean a connection that feeds my spirit, that gives me energy, where I feel heard, and so that's what I talk about when I mean deeper connections. And so we were going to talk about two ways to cultivate deeper connections. So I'm going to start, and then you've got an incredible part of this equation, because it does seem somewhat of an equation. But the first one I feel is asking deeper questions. I think that we're taught a lot of times to just scratch the surface with our conversations. So, what'd you do today? How was your day? And then the answers are pretty, good. I went to this meeting, and then I did this, and then I came home and made dinner for my kids, and now I'm just kind of settling in. I'm going to watch something on Netflix. Like very surface. And those connections don't feel to me as fulfilling. And so asking deeper questions, even asking the questions, how do you feel today? And really creating the safe space to say, no, I really want to know. It does. If it's good, great, awesome. But if it's something else, I want to listen. I want to hear you. I want to be there for you. I want you to be honest and create that safe place for me to show up for you. And then piggybacking on that is asking someone, if they're in a tough place and they need to talk, like, how can I best show up for you? What do you need from me? Do you need me to just listen and say, I hear you? Oh, wow, that must have been hard. I hear you. Do you want some, little tidbits to kind of help you move through it? What do you need from me? So asking deeper questions. I even ask people, what are your dreams? What are your visions? What would you love to do in the world? Things like that. That helps to create a depth in connection and a depth in knowing who the other person is.
I love that, Carrie. I mean, your first point about asking deeper questions, it's like when I remember when my kids were in school. I mean, you can say, how was your day? And what did you do today? And it's like, fine, nothing. Or, I mean, you can just get them. And so, they're all going to say that. So you can just get them talking by, like, what did you do at recess? Or what was your favorite part of lunch? Or just kind of getting them talking, and it carries on through adulthood. You have to ask deeper questions to really feel that connection. I love that. The other thing that I wanted to share is what I I work on, because I like to just talk fast and walk fast and do everything fast. But if I think of creating this new network and creating connection with people that I'm really looking for, because it makes you feel so good and you think, well, oh my gosh, what can I bring to the table? What can I make? How can I make this conversation interesting or of value? And you have to think a little bit more counterintuitively than that. It's not what you bring, it's how well you listen. You
Mhm.
know, everyone loves to be heard and be seen and be felt like they have, that value in the relationship. So it really isn't about me bringing an interesting story or, what I have. It's really, did I hear what you were saying? Was I actually listening to understand and to be a part of your world? Or was I just listening to respond?
Mm.
And, when you do it that way, the connection closes in so much. And you actually, when you open that up, the other person immediately feels more comfortable to share more, which is, what you talked about, getting deeper into the conversation. And it's such a win-win. And I think that's how we started talking to, and we decided to just put that out there because it's been a win-win relationships where sometimes I've needed to talk to someone and you've been there and you asked the right questions. And sometimes it was the other way around. And it's been such a great example of what's available to everybody out there if you just like expand your sights on what it takes to really build connection and build friendship or communication between anyone. And it's not just my backyard or my country, but it's everywhere in the world. And love this conversation. So,
Yeah, I love it too. And so the only other thing I would add is that all of this takes practice, right?
oh
Takes
gosh.
practice. It takes, I don't know that we're taught. I think there should be a separate class in school about communication and healthy and conscious communication and listening and asking questions and being there energetically and emotionally and verbally and for other people. And so I think that's just what we're doing with this conversation, is just starting the conversation of how do we get to the place of practicing this. I'm continually practicing this and I know all of it,
I'm
but
such
still
a
there
work
are
in
times,
progress.
right, well, right. There are times when we're unconscious for one reason or another. And so I love this conversation. Let's continue it. And for anyone who's watching, I would love to invite you to be a part of the conversation. What is something that helps you create deeper connections with other people? Let us know. We'd love to connect and continue the conversation.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Deborah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.